The Galactic Academy stood as the pinnacle of interstellar education, drawing the brightest minds from across the galaxy to learn about science, diplomacy, and the intricacies of galactic history. Among the many topics taught within its hallowed halls, one remained conspicuously absent from the curriculum: the human clause. This enigmatic law, a staple of the Galactic Council's policies, forbade humans from participating in galactic warfare. Its existence was common knowledge, but the reasons behind it were shrouded in mystery, sparking endless speculation among students. Alien students from various species often debated the origins and implications of the human clause. For some, it was a relic of past conflicts, a precautionary measure against humanity's supposed volatility. For others, it hinted at humanity's exceptional power or dangerous unpredictability. While opinions varied, one fact remained constant: the Galactic Council had classified all records related to the clause, leaving even the most inquisitive minds in the dark. Among the students, a small group grew particularly intrigued. They represented a diverse array of species, each bringing unique perspectives and skills. Their conversations often turned to humanity's ambiguous status in the galactic hierarchy. How could a species that had contributed so much to science, diplomacy, and cultural exchange also be deemed unfit for warfare? The contradictions were too glaring to ignore, fueling their desire to uncover the truth. Their curiosity was further piqued during a lecture on galactic history. An ancient AI professor, known for its cryptic remarks, mentioned humanity in passing. While discussing the galaxy's most devastating wars, it referred to humanity as the variable that changed everything. When pressed for clarification, the AI refused to elaborate, citing restrictions imposed by the Galactic Council. This only deepened the students' determination to seek answers. The Academy housed an extensive archive, a repository of knowledge spanning millennia. While most of its records were accessible to students, certain sections were heavily restricted, requiring special clearance. It was common knowledge that anything related to the human clause was locked behind these barriers. For the curious group, this presented both a challenge and an opportunity. If the truth about humanity was hidden anywhere, it was within those archives. The group began devising a plan to access the restricted files. Each member contributed their expertise, from hacking advanced security systems to navigating the Academy's labyrinthine bureaucracy. They understood the risks involved. Unauthorized access to classified information could result in severe penalties, including expulsion. Yet their curiosity outweighed their fear, driving them to proceed. As they delved deeper into the archives, they encountered fragments of information that painted an incomplete but intriguing picture. Records from ancient galactic wars hinted at humanity's involvement, though the details were vague. Mentions of unprecedented tactics and strategic singularity suggested that humans had played a pivotal role, but the context was missing. The documents were filled with warnings, emphasizing the need to contain humanity's influence to prevent future catastrophes. These fragments raised more questions than answers, leaving the students eager to learn more. Their search eventually led them to a file labeled with a single word: termination. It contained scattered references to a pivotal event, one that seemed to mark the end of humanity's involvement in galactic warfare. The details were heavily redacted, but the tone of the file was unmistakable. Humanity's actions had been both transformative and destructive, reshaping the galaxy in ways that the Galactic Council deemed unacceptable. The file concluded with a directive: humanity was to be banned from all forms of organized conflict, a decision framed as necessary for the survival of galactic civilization. The students were left stunned by their findings. While the records they uncovered were incomplete, they hinted at a story far more complex than they had anticipated. Humanity's role in the galaxy was not one of simple aggression or incompetence. Instead, it seemed they had been both saviors and pariahs, their actions leaving a legacy that the Galactic Council sought to bury. This revelation only deepened the students' resolve to uncover the full truth, even as they grappled with the implications of what they had learned. Their investigation marked the beginning of a journey that would challenge their perceptions and force them to confront the delicate balance of power within the galaxy. What they had discovered was only the surface of a mystery that ran far deeper, a mystery that threatened to redefine their understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. The human clause, once dismissed as a bureaucratic oddity, now stood as a testament to humanity's profound and dangerous impact on the galaxy. The history of galactic warfare was marked by cycles of destruction and fragile peace, but none compared to the conflict that reshaped the galaxy's understanding of power and strategy. For millennia, the galaxy had witnessed wars fought with predictable tactics, guided by strict conventions to limit collateral damage. Species adhered to unwritten rules of engagement, prioritizing honor and tradition over innovation. This status quo was shattered when humanity entered the arena, bringing with them a perspective unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Humans were initially perceived as mediators, valued for their diplomatic skills and problem-solving abilities. Their entry into galactic warfare came reluctantly, driven by circumstances that left them with no alternative. Yet when forced into conflict, they proved to be an anomaly. Humanity's approach to warfare defied convention, rooted in adaptability, creativity, and an unsettling willingness to push boundaries. Unlike other species, humans viewed war as a problem to be solved rather than a tradition to be upheld. This mindset allowed them to innovate rapidly, devising strategies that exploited weaknesses in their adversaries' predictable methods. Where others relied on overwhelming force or rigid formations, humans introduced fluid tactics, leveraging their ability to adapt on the fly. Their ingenuity extended to technology, as they repurposed and enhanced existing tools to gain an edge in combat. This combination of strategic brilliance and resourcefulness left even the most seasoned galactic commanders unprepared. Humanity's adaptability went beyond tactics and technology. They demonstrated an unparalleled ability to understand their enemies, analyzing not just their strategies but their motivations and psychological triggers. This understanding allowed humans to anticipate moves before they were made, outmaneuvering opponents with uncanny precision. It was not just their physical capabilities that set them apart, but their ability to think differently, to approach conflict from angles no one else considered. The defining moment of humanity's involvement in galactic warfare came during a conflict that had reached a brutal stalemate. For decades, opposing factions had waged battles with no clear victor, exhausting resources and morale. Humanity's entry into this war brought a fresh perspective, breaking the deadlock with a strategy that was as effective as it was controversial. Faced with insurmountable odds, humans devised a plan that leveraged their greatest strength, unpredictability. They executed a series of maneuvers that drew their enemies into traps, exploiting their reliance on conventional tactics. The result was a decisive victory, but the methods employed left a trail of devastation that shocked the galaxy. Human commanders had prioritized the swiftest path to resolution, disregarding the collateral damage that other species found unacceptable. Entire star systems were affected, their ecosystems and infrastructures irreparably damaged. The price of victory was staggering, and while the war ended, the consequences lingered. This turning point cemented humanity's reputation as both saviors and threats. On one hand, they had brought an end to a conflict that had seemed endless. On the other, their willingness to cross ethical boundaries raised alarm. The tactics that won the war were seen as dangerously extreme, pushing the limits of what was considered acceptable in galactic society. Humanity's ability to achieve results through sheer determination and innovation was undeniable, but it came at a cost that many deemed too high. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council convened to address the implications of humanity's actions. The decision to implement the human clause was not made lightly but was driven by a collective fear of what humanity represented. The clause was framed as a precautionary measure, designed to prevent future conflicts from escalating to the levels seen during humanity's involvement. It was not just humanity's military capabilities that concerned the Council but their mindset, a perspective that prioritized outcomes over tradition and morality. This approach, while effective, was deemed incompatible with the galaxy's broader values. The human clause marked the beginning of humanity's exclusion from galactic warfare, effectively labeling them as a species too dangerous to engage in organized conflict. While this decision was controversial, it reflected a broader consensus that humanity's strengths, if left unchecked, posed a risk to the delicate balance of power. The clause was not just a ban but a statement about the galaxy's priorities, emphasizing stability over progress and control over unpredictability. For humanity, the ban was both a relief and a burden. It spared them the horrors of future wars but came with the stigma of being outcasts, a species viewed with both fear and admiration. Their contributions to ending the war were acknowledged, but the methods used ensured they would never fully escape scrutiny. Humanity's role in galactic warfare became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the consequences of unchecked ingenuity, and the dangers of prioritizing victory at any cost. The alien students uncovering this history were left grappling with its implications. Humanity's actions were not born of malice but necessity, driven by a desire to resolve conflicts as efficiently as possible. Yet the cost of their solutions raised ethical questions that remained unresolved. The records revealed a species that embodied both the best and worst aspects of conflict, a paradox that the galaxy struggled to reconcile. The more they learned, the clearer it became that the human clause was not just a response to humanity's capabilities, but a reflection of the galaxy's fear of change. Humanity's approach had challenged deeply held beliefs about the nature of war, forcing species to confront the limits of their traditions. While the ban sought to preserve stability, it also highlighted the galaxy's reluctance to embrace innovation, even when it offered a path to resolution. Humanity's involvement in galactic warfare was a turning point that redefined the nature of conflict. Their actions left an indelible mark, shaping the galaxy's approach to strategy and ethics. The human clause, while controversial, became a symbol of the tension between progress and tradition, a reminder of the delicate balance that defined galactic society. For the students, the history they uncovered was not just a lesson in warfare but a window into the complexities of power, morality, and the choices that shaped the fate of civilizations. The discovery of humanity's involvement in galactic warfare challenged the alien students' assumptions about the balance of power and the principles underlying the Galactic Council's governance. The fragmented records they unearthed revealed not just humanity's tactical brilliance but the ethical and political dilemmas that had shaped the galaxy's response to their actions. These revelations raised profound questions about the nature of power, the cost of progress, and the role of fear in decision-making. As they pieced together the story, it became clear that the decision to exclude humans from warfare was as much about preserving the Galactic Council's authority as it was about preventing further devastation. Humanity's unconventional approach to conflict, which prioritized innovation and results over tradition, had exposed the Council's limitations. The Council's established methods of diplomacy and conflict resolution had failed repeatedly, leaving the galaxy vulnerable to prolonged stalemates. Humanity's entry into warfare disrupted this equilibrium, forcing a resolution but at a cost that unsettled the established order. The ethical debates surrounding humanity's actions were complex. On one hand, their strategies ended a conflict that had claimed countless lives and resources, achieving a result no other species had managed. On the other, the methods they employed raised questions about the limits of acceptable behavior in war. Their willingness to sacrifice short-term stability for long-term peace was seen by some as a necessary evil, while others viewed it as reckless disregard for collateral damage. These opposing perspectives reflected the broader moral tensions that humanity's actions had brought to light. Humanity's justification for their tactics was rooted in pragmatism. Faced with a conflict that threatened to consume the entire galaxy, they believed that decisive action was the only way to prevent greater losses. Their ability to innovate and adapt was not driven by a desire for dominance, but by the urgency of survival and resolution. This perspective contrasted sharply with the galaxy's reliance on tradition and consensus, highlighting the cultural differences that had made humanity both indispensable and dangerous. The Galactic Council's response to humanity's role in the war revealed their fear of losing control. The human clause was framed as a protective measure, but the underlying motivations were deeply political. Humanity's success in resolving the conflict had undermined the Council's authority, exposing their inability to manage interstellar crises effectively. By banning humans from warfare, the Council sought to reassert their dominance, ensuring that no single species could challenge their position as the galaxy's ultimate arbiters. The alien students also uncovered evidence of internal dissent within the Council. Not all members had agreed with the human clause, with some arguing that humanity's exclusion was short-sighted. These dissenting voices pointed to humanity's potential as a force for innovation and progress, suggesting that their unique perspective could benefit the galaxy in ways beyond warfare. However, these arguments were overshadowed by the prevailing fear that humanity's strengths, if unchecked, could lead to further destabilization. The psychological impact of the human clause on humanity itself was another key aspect of the story. Being labeled as too dangerous for warfare carried a stigma that shaped their interactions with the rest of the galaxy. While humanity continued to contribute to science, diplomacy, and cultural exchange, they were often treated with suspicion and kept at arm's length. This isolation reinforced a sense of alienation, even as humans sought to prove their value through peaceful means. The ethical and political dimensions of humanity's exclusion were further complicated by the question of responsibility. The Galactic Council's records suggested that humanity had been drawn into the war reluctantly, acting only when other measures had failed. This raised the question of whether the galaxy bore some responsibility for the conditions that had forced humanity to take such drastic actions. By framing humanity as the sole perpetrators of destruction, the Council absolved themselves of accountability for their own failures. The alien students found themselves divided in their interpretations of these revelations. Some argued that the human clause was a necessary safeguard, protecting the galaxy from a species whose methods, while effective, were too disruptive. Others believed that humanity had been unfairly vilified, their actions taken out of context, and their contributions undervalued. This debate mirrored the broader tensions within the galaxy, highlighting the challenges of reconciling fear with the potential for progress. The records also shed light on the unintended consequences of humanity's exclusion. While the human clause had succeeded in preventing humans from participating in warfare, it had also limited the galaxy's capacity for innovation. Without humanity's unique approach to problem-solving, the galaxy had become stagnant, reliant on outdated strategies and technologies. This stagnation had left the galaxy vulnerable to new threats, with no species capable of filling the void left by humanity's absence. For the alien students, the discovery of humanity's story was both a revelation and a challenge. It forced them to confront their own biases and assumptions, questioning the narratives they had been taught about power, progress, and responsibility. Humanity's actions, while controversial, demonstrated the complexity of leadership and the difficulty of balancing moral principles with practical necessity. The deeper they delved into the records, the more they recognized the parallels between humanity's story and the broader struggles of the galaxy. The tension between tradition and innovation, stability and progress, was not unique to humanity but a reflection of the challenges faced by all species. Humanity's ability to navigate these tensions, even at great cost, offered lessons that the galaxy could not afford to ignore. The students began to see the human clause not as a solution but as a symptom of the galaxy's fear of change. Humanity's exclusion had preserved the status quo, but it had also stifled the potential for growth and adaptation. The decision to ban humans from warfare had been driven by fear rather than understanding, reflecting a broader reluctance to embrace the unknown. As they reflected on what they had learned, the alien students were left with a profound question. Was the galaxy better off without humanity's involvement? Or had the human clause created a new set of challenges by sidelining one of its most innovative species? The answer was not clear, but the journey to uncover the truth had revealed the complexity of the decisions that shaped the galaxy's history. For the students, this was not just a lesson in the past but a call to rethink the future. The revelations surrounding humanity's exclusion from galactic warfare left a profound impact on those who uncovered them, reshaping perspectives on the balance of power and the principles governing the galaxy. Humanity's legacy, marked by both innovation and controversy, became a catalyst for broader discussions about progress, responsibility, and the future of interstellar cooperation. It was clear that the human clause was not just a rule but a symbol of the galaxy's struggle to reconcile fear with the potential for change. Humanity's exclusion had far-reaching consequences that extended beyond the immediate aftermath of their involvement in galactic warfare. While the human clause successfully prevented humans from participating in future conflicts, it also created a void in the galaxy's strategic and intellectual landscape. The unique qualities that made humanity both a formidable ally and a feared adversary, adaptability, creativity, and resilience, were sidelined, leaving the galaxy reliant on conventional approaches that often fell short in addressing complex challenges. In the absence of humanity's influence, the galaxy settled into a state of cautious stability. Conflicts continued to arise, but they were resolved through methods that prioritized containment over resolution. Without humanity's innovative problem-solving, the solutions implemented by the Galactic Council often failed to address the root causes of disputes. This approach preserved the status quo but came at the cost of long-term progress, leaving the galaxy vulnerable to recurring crises. The technological stagnation that followed humanity's exclusion was particularly evident. During their brief involvement in galactic affairs, humans had introduced breakthroughs that revolutionized warfare and resource management. These advancements, while controversial, demonstrated humanity's ability to think beyond established norms. With humanity removed from the equation, the pace of innovation slowed significantly, as other species struggled to replicate their creative approach to problem-solving. This stagnation became a source of frustration for those who recognized the missed opportunities for advancement. Humanity's contributions were not limited to technology and strategy. Their cultural impact, though often overlooked, left an indelible mark on the galaxy. Stories of human resilience and ingenuity inspired other species, challenging them to rethink their own limitations. The arts, philosophies, and traditions shared by humanity became points of connection, fostering a sense of unity that transcended species boundaries. However, the stigma associated with the human clause often overshadowed these contributions, limiting humanity's ability to fully integrate into galactic society. Despite the challenges they faced, humanity continued to influence the galaxy in subtle but significant ways. Their exclusion from warfare did not prevent them from participating in other areas of interstellar cooperation. Humans became leaders in diplomacy, science, and cultural exchange, using these platforms to rebuild their reputation and demonstrate their value. Their efforts to promote collaboration and understanding resonated with many, serving as a reminder of what could be achieved when differences were embraced rather than feared. The ethical implications of the human clause remained a point of contention. For some, humanity's exclusion was a necessary safeguard, ensuring that their capacity for destruction would never again threaten galactic stability. For others, it represented an injustice, a decision driven by fear rather than a fair assessment of humanity's potential. This debate underscored the complexity of balancing security with inclusivity, highlighting the need for a more nuanced approach to governance. The galaxy's reliance on the human clause as a solution also exposed the limitations of the Galactic Council's leadership. By excluding humanity, the Council avoided addressing the deeper issues that had led to the conflicts in which humanity had played a role. This avoidance allowed systemic problems to persist, creating a cycle of unresolved tensions that hindered progress. The students who uncovered this history saw the human clause not as a solution but as a symptom of the galaxy's broader struggles with accountability and adaptation. The discussion sparked by humanity's legacy extended beyond the confines of academic debate. Species across the galaxy began to question the assumptions that had shaped their understanding of power and progress. Humanity's story became a lens through which to examine the choices that had defined galactic history, prompting calls for greater transparency and inclusivity in decision-making. These conversations laid the groundwork for potential reforms, challenging the status quo and opening the door to new possibilities. One of the most significant lessons from humanity's exclusion was the importance of embracing diverse perspectives. Humanity's approach to problem-solving, though unconventional, had demonstrated the value of thinking differently. Their ability to innovate and adapt under pressure was not just a threat, but a resource that the galaxy could no longer afford to ignore. Recognizing this potential required overcoming the fear and mistrust that had defined humanity's relationship with the Galactic Council. The possibility of revisiting the human clause became a topic of growing interest. Advocates for reform argued that humanity's strengths, if guided responsibly, could benefit the galaxy in ways that extended far beyond warfare. They envisioned a future in which humanity was reintegrated into galactic society, not as a threat but as a partner in addressing the challenges that lay ahead. This vision was met with resistance from those who remained wary of humanity's potential, but it also inspired hope among those who believed in the power of collaboration. Humanity's journey from exclusion to redemption was not just a story of conflict and resolution but a reflection of the galaxy's own evolution. Their experience highlighted the tensions between fear and progress, tradition and innovation, stability and change. It revealed the complexities of interstellar governance, the challenges of balancing power, and the importance of accountability in shaping a shared future. In the end, humanity's legacy served as a reminder of the choices that defined civilizations. Their exclusion from warfare was a decision born of necessity, but it also reflected the limits of a system that prioritized control over growth. As the galaxy continued to grapple with the implications of this history, humanity's story remained a testament to the potential for transformation, offering a path forward for those willing to embrace the unknown. Through their contributions, challenges, and resilience, humanity left an enduring mark on the galaxy, shaping its trajectory in ways that would resonate for generations to come. The impact of humanity's exclusion from galactic warfare rippled far beyond its immediate implications, shaping the galaxy's understanding of conflict, governance, and cooperation. The human clause, while initially framed as a necessity for maintaining stability, became a symbol of the complexities involved in balancing fear and potential. Humanity's role in the galaxy continued to evolve, demonstrating their resilience and adaptability even within the constraints imposed upon them. Despite their exclusion, humanity refused to be relegated to the sidelines. They focused on areas where they could contribute meaningfully, channeling their ingenuity into fields that advanced interstellar progress. Scientific research, technological innovation, and cultural diplomacy became their avenues for influence. Through these efforts, humans steadily rebuilt their reputation, proving that their value extended far beyond their capabilities in warfare. Their work fostered cooperation, encouraged dialogue, and laid the groundwork for a more interconnected galaxy. In many ways, the human clause inadvertently became a catalyst for humanity's evolution. With warfare no longer an option, they redirected their energy towards solving galactic challenges through peaceful means. Their contributions to medicine, renewable energy, and deep space exploration garnered widespread admiration, gradually shifting perceptions among skeptical species. By emphasizing collaboration over competition, humanity demonstrated that their strengths could be a force for unity rather than division. The broader galaxy also began to reflect on the implications of humanity's exclusion. While the ban had been intended to preserve stability, it had also exposed weaknesses in the Galactic Council's approach to governance. The reliance on exclusion as a solution revealed a reluctance to address systemic issues, leaving deeper conflicts unresolved. Humanity's story became a lens through which species examined their own practices, prompting debates about fairness, accountability, and the need for reform. This shift in perspective led to incremental changes in interstellar policies. The Galactic Council faced growing pressure to reconsider the human clause, not as an immediate reversal but as part of a broader conversation about inclusivity and progress. Advocates argued that humanity's exclusion had stifled innovation, leaving the galaxy ill-prepared for future challenges. The realization that progress required diverse perspectives began to take root, challenging the status quo. Humanity's persistence in the face of exclusion highlighted the importance of adaptability. They found ways to remain relevant without defying the restrictions placed upon them. This adaptability became an example for other species, illustrating that resilience and creativity could overcome even the most significant obstacles. Humanity's ability to thrive within constraints inspired admiration, subtly shifting the narrative surrounding their place in the galaxy. As humanity's contributions gained recognition, questions arose about the sustainability of the human clause. The ban, while effective in preventing direct conflicts, had also limited the galaxy's ability to respond to emerging threats. Humanity's absence in military and strategic discussions left a gap that no other species could fill. The realization that the galaxy might need humanity's unique perspective reignited debates about their reintegration into broader decision-making processes. The ethical considerations of the human clause remained a central theme in these discussions. Critics argued that excluding humanity based on fear perpetuated a cycle of mistrust, hindering the galaxy's ability to move forward collectively. Proponents of reform emphasized that the galaxy's future required cooperation, not exclusion, and that humanity's strengths, when guided responsibly, could be harnessed for the greater good. These arguments gained traction as humanity continued to demonstrate their commitment to peace and progress. The evolution of humanity's role also had a profound cultural impact. Their exclusion from warfare allowed them to focus on building bridges between species through art, storytelling, and shared traditions. Human culture became a unifying force, bringing diverse species together and fostering mutual understanding. These cultural exchanges created bonds that transcended historical divisions, proving that humanity's influence could extend far beyond the battlefield. The ongoing debate about the human clause was not just about humanity's role but about the galaxy's ability to adapt and grow. It highlighted the tension between preserving stability and embracing change, a challenge that all civilizations faced. Humanity's story became a symbol of this struggle, offering lessons about the complexities of leadership, the importance of inclusivity, and the potential for transformation. Ultimately, humanity's journey was one of resilience and reinvention. They took the constraints imposed upon them and turned them into opportunities, demonstrating their capacity to contribute meaningfully in ways that went beyond their original reputation. Their exclusion from warfare, while initially a limitation, became a defining moment that reshaped their identity and their place in the galaxy. Through their actions, humanity proved that progress was not about avoiding conflict but about finding better ways to resolve it. Their story became a testament to the power of perseverance, adaptability, and collaboration, offering hope for a future where the galaxy could move beyond fear and division. Humanity's legacy, though marked by controversy, ultimately became a source of inspiration, reminding all species of the potential for growth and unity in the face of adversity.